Hello, 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 everyone. Thanks for joining. Right now, you should hear me and see on your screen the first slide that says making money with montages. So if you can see that, go ahead and say, yep, I see that. I can hear you. And let me know where you are coming from. See some people jumping in here from Colorado, Ohio, San Diego, Connecticut. Cool. New Mexico. All right, looks like you can see everything and hear me, so that's good. Hey, from Wisconsin, cool. Illinois, Jersey in the house, Nebraska, Dallas. Cool. So we're just going to hold out here for a little bit here, not too much longer, while people are joining us here. We have a lot of people signed up. Looks like around 750 people signed up. So we'll see how many people actually join us live. In the meantime, if you have a question, we're going to save questions till the end. If you're having any technical problems, try to hit the refresh button, which is down below. Also try and close any extra tabs you have open on your internet browser. Try to make sure that you're not downloading or uploading a bunch of content, because that will slow the feed down on your end, as well as if anyone's streaming a movie in your home or in your office, that's going to suck the bandwidth. So try and stay as lean as possible so that this presentation goes as smooth as possible. Yes, I have been confused as for James Hetfield quite often, and I used to actually put that in the presentation, but I took it out. But yeah, I get that a lot. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Cool, Kansas, Wyoming. All right, we're gonna get started here in just a few more minutes. So again, if you're having any problems, try to hit the refresh button. Yeah. Have a few people say, is there sound? So can you hear me? Yep, other people can hear me. Okay. So if you're having problems with sound, just try and hit the refresh button, and that should pull up the sound, hopefully. Sometimes a different browser works. Google Chrome, or not Google Chrome, but Chrome tends to work the best. All right, so you guys can hear me and you can see the first. Got it now. All right, cool, Sonny. Loud and clear. All right, we're going to get started here, and other people can kind of join in along as we go, but I want to get started. I don't want to wait too much longer. I know you guys are busy and have a lot going on, so let's get it rolling. So montages. This is me. This is a picture of me. Yeah, I look like James Hetfield. I get that a lot. If you want to follow me on social media, it's just my name, which is Dan Freevault. I own a full-time photography studio, which is Freevault Photography, where I photograph now 98% high school seniors. I used to shoot it all and photograph it all, but now I'm really niched into the high school senior market. I am also, within the last few years, started Seniors Unlocked, which is an online and in-person education company, I guess. It's just a way for me to educate other photographers all around the world. The internet is great. It allows me to do webinars like this and reach people from all over the world, which is cool, because I know we're getting people in here from even other countries that I saw sign up, like New Zealand and Australia and stuff like that, and England. So that's super cool. That's way cool. Otherwise, you can find me teaching, at different places around the world as well. Here's the two different websites: freevaultphotography.com or seniorsunlocked.com. So again, welcome. Thanks for joining the presentation. These are just a few of my favorite companies that I use in my day-to-day studio. Like I said, I do run a full-time studio. That is very important to stay up and current with everything. The teaching is something I enjoy to do, as well. So these are just some of the companies I enjoy working with. I'm not going to go over them in detail. I just wanted to give them a quick little shout out. So what we're going to cover today in the presentation. So kind of a little bit about me. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with that. But mainly we're going to get into montages, how to market, how to create buzz using montages, how to use lighting to create montages to give them the most impact. And most importantly, kind of selling montages. And I'll give you a bunch of tips and tricks and methods in order for you to get out and start making money with these montages ASAP. I'm going to give you my one super secret tip for creating a montage in Photoshop, which will allow you to do them quick and efficiently. And then I want you to stick around for the end because I have a special offer for you guys just for joining me today. Like I said earlier, all the question and answers, try and keep them towards the end and make sure you put them in the question chat area. That helps me keep track of them a little bit easier. And I'll just be going through the presentation, and I'll stick around for quite a while afterwards to answer any questions you have, but I'm going to not try and interrupt the actual presentation to answer questions because I know everyone's time is important, and hopefully I will answer some of those questions as we get going here with the presentation itself. So again, hopefully you've disconnected from Facebook and from other social media accounts and kind of turn the phone off for a little bit here, and you have hopefully I have your complete attention because we're going to move pretty quick here. I tend to talk fast. I have a note to slow down and talk a little bit slower, but we're going to get rolling here with the actual montage presentation. So real quick, a little bit about me if you don't know who I am. I'm a master photographer and craftsman photographer. Those are 2 degrees I earned through PPA, the Professional Photographers of America. If you aren't a member, I suggest joining and entering and earning these degrees. They will really push you to become a better photographer and artist. I have an associate degree in marketing communications. I worked for 12 years as a graphic artist, and then now I've been doing 12 years and actually 13 years this year as a professional photographer and full-time. So I've now surpassed my graphic art degree or working history with professional photography. I've won some awards through the years, through entering and these contests and through PPA and how they grade and score and judge different things. So I'm not going to go over all these, but it's pretty cool to enter and then be recognized by your peers. So I'm pretty proud of these awards I've won, because quite honestly, I never thought I would win anything or make any money with photography. And so I'm here to tell you that you can still make money with photography, and you can still earn a living with photography. And entering these different contests can really help both in marketing and also, upping your skill level a little bit. Like I said, I'm a mentor, a speaker, and a barbecue fanatic. And really, I love to help others succeed, which is why I've been doing these webinars and teaching as well when I have the time. So what is a montage? I'm going to start very basic here because sometimes people get montages confused with composites or with collages. And, I kind of branded in my studio the name montage and composite, 2 different items, because really they are 2 different products that I offer. So montage is, the upper left here with the football player. And the easy way to remember it is montage with an M equals money because it's easy to create. They're super efficient to create. There's no cutting out. There's no backgrounds and colors and proportions you have to match with them. So if you're new to doing any kind of sport montage like this, my method really works well because it can get you up and going and with the process really quick. A composite, they're a little bit more difficult. So C for composite equals C cutout. So the image of the dancer on the right, where she's kind of throwing water in the air, that's all done in the studio in a green screen, and then I cut her out and I add all the water and the brushes and rain and the digital background in there and create a composited scene. That's much more difficult. It takes longer to learn. It can be super awesome as well. It just is more of an advanced type of product. So those are kind of how I define the difference between a montage and a composite. So why do montages for your studio or for your photography business? Well, they create a unique style for your studio. It helps to sell you as an artist, not just a photographer. And what's great is art equals money. So people are going to pay you more because you're offering these type of products. Especially if no one else in your area is offering this product. They will seek you out. They'll book you for sessions. They'll want you to do these montages because no one else is doing them. And because no one else is doing them, you can charge basically whatever you want. And that's really the beauty of the montage. Like I said, it also creates a unique style for your studio. So they have huge marketing potential as well, because when you post this, people go crazy when you put it on social media, or if you have displays of these up in sporting events, people just absolutely love them and call you more an artist than just a photographer. And they can boost your average sale by at least $500. I'm going to cover that in a little bit here, but I'll show you ways on how you can just really boost your averages by offering these montages. So let's say you're just starting out in montages. You watch this webinar and you get excited to put one together. I'm going to give you a few tips to have the most success with marketing these montages. So for one, do your first one on spec. I'm really big on, people have to see it in order to understand it. So call in a past senior or a past client, or if you have a son or daughter, and you put one up together on spec. Don't charge them for it, at least for the design part of it. And then you'll have a sample. Well, and the beauty of that is you won't feel so much pressure to create one or make it just right or make it just perfect because they're not paying you for it. So it helps to, help alleviate a lot of the pressure when you're putting these together if you just do the first one on spec. Once you have it done and you put it out there, more and more people are going to want it, and then you can start to charge for it. Like I said, you can offer it to your marketing reps or past clients, or, you can maybe even use images you already have. If you've been in business for a while, maybe you can go back to some old files and put this together. And, absolutely need to show it to sell it. And what that means is having a digital sample that you can put up, online if you run a special, or on your website. Have printed, canvases of these in your studio. Or if you don't have a studio, it's something that you can bring along to either events, or if you do in-person sales in people's homes, bring along a canvas so they can see it, because it is extremely powerful seeing these in person. I'm going to take a drink of water here for a second. All right, so keys to a great montage. Here's some things I've found through the years that really help make montages, come together and really stand out. So multiple sports make for unique images. A lot of times I will put different sports together. So like this sample here, it's just a dancer, and she's doing multiple dance routines or dance leaps, and that works really well. But sometimes I'll do multiple sports together. It depends, and not always though, because if this dancer is also, let's say, a basketball player, I don't feel like basketball and dance really go together. So then I would do a dance montage and a basketball montage. So there you have an opportunity to sell two montages. But generally, if they're in sports, I can mix different sports together. And so if they're in basketball, in track, and in baseball, for instance, I will mix all those elements together. And then you have a really cool montage of all the different sports that they do. And that is really powerful because people will order that, and they'll order a large portrait of it, which really helps, sell wall portraits in your business and really bring in more revenue into your photography studio. So another key point is to capture close-up images to create a focal point. So you see this image here, the dancer kind of throwing up her dance outfit there. and then other leaps of her going around. A lot of times when I see people first start out doing these, they have every image is kind of the same size. And then your eye is bouncing all over the place and it looks really busy. But if you vary the sizes and vary, the opacities and things like that, your eye will generally flow it from a design standpoint from one image to the next and really make it something that is much more easier to enjoy and to view. So edgy light or edge light, strip lights, anything that has more, that creates more dimension will really help with these montages as well. And I'm going to show you that, how I do that right here. So the lighting, this is an old photo, but it basically is the same exact lighting system that I use. I call it the 3-point lighting setup. And what I do is I have 2 strip boxes behind the subject and then 1 main light in front. So what I'm using now is 2 14x48 Gomo soft strips for my edge lighting. Those are like the 2 back ones there on the left and right. And in those I have 8200s. So now I'm all wireless in the studio and outside of the studio. So it's wireless, it's battery powered and wireless triggered, which is super cool. And then I use 1 QT600 2 in a 36-inch Gomo Octabox for the main light. The QT600 is a really cool light because it's got a super fast flash duration. So when I'm shooting action shots, it gets a crisp, clean shot of the person doing a leap or swinging a baseball bat. It stops that action without any motion blur, which is really, really cool. So this is kind of what the edge light looks like. Here's an example of a dancer. If you want to do the squirt bottle and kind of wet down the dancer or the subject, that'll give you even more of an edgier, shiny sheen on their skin. So the image of the light, she's just standing there. I do a test shot. You can see how those soft boxes, they're tall and skinny. So that emulates, her body structure, and you can get the edge light both on the left and right of her. And then the main light in front helps fill in the rest. And then here the image on the right shows where she's actually posing, and it has, all the edging of the light and just shows all the definition and muscle tone. And when you start to put these together, the more you can add that edge light to make her look 3-dimensional like she is, instead of flat lighting, the better your montages will be. So lighting, here's another example. So this girl's really ripped, and you can see how that really dramatic lighting, especially when you start putting the textures on and doing the different effects that I'm going to show you here in a second, it really makes those images pop even more. So the lighting is super important. I showed studio lighting, but you can also simulate the same thing outdoor. So multi-sport or single sport, I kind of mentioned this earlier. It's cool to have, this guy's in karate and has, swords and all these different things. So it really helps tell the story of this particular individual, this particular subject, in one nice montage art piece. Photograph a lot of dancers. They obviously work great for dancers as well. Just mixing all the different leaps, and actually this is cheer. Cheer and dance here is kind of similar. I know in other places cheer is bigger than dance, so I photograph a lot of dancers mostly and get a few cheer leaders as well. Actually, no, this is dance. I sometimes get confused, but she's got the palms there. Here's one where we have multiple sports. So it's volleyball, softball. I think that's the 2, volleyball and softball in here. So, blending the different sports together works really well because it tells that story. And what I found with doing these montages is if I would just shoot different sport photos, they really wouldn't purchase them, because when they're growing up all through the sporting events that they do, and every year someone comes in and photographs the team and does individual sport pictures. So when it comes time for senior pictures or to invest in something a little bit more, they're not willing to fork out the money because they say, oh, we have the team picture, that's good enough. So I found once I started creating something that no one else was doing, which is these montages and blending the sports together, it actually boosted my sales quite a bit because I was doing something that they hadn't seen before. You know, and up at this point, we've been talking a whole lot about, you know, basically seniors and stuff, because that's what I do. But my actual original montage I did was for a wedding. And so they work for everything, seniors, weddings, pets, sports, fitness, dance, gymnastics, cheerleading. I've done some for the military. So I've done some military, like done some for my father-in-law and his Vietnam vets. Would go in and photograph the vets and put together montages and use like some of their medals that they had got in the war, and even in some of their old snapshots, their old military snapshots, along with new images of them marching and carrying the flag and presenting the colors, which is really, really cool. And it turned out to be a great keepsake item. Public service. You know, police, firefighters, SWAT teams, they go crazy over these things. They're super, super popular, and they're fun to work with and put together because they have a lot of good props and stuff that go with them as well. You can do them for auctions. So I don't know, like a lot of times around here, people contact me for like silent auctions for fundraisers. And a lot of photographers will just put in like, hey, a free family session or something like that in the auction. What I do, again, to stand out and for marketing, is put this montage up and say, I'll do a free montage session for you. And that works really well to help get my name out and just to offer something different. And people go crazy bidding on it because, again, it is different and unique. So the main thing is montages make me money all year long. There's sometimes different busy times and slow times throughout the year, and I can just always go and approach these different, you know, like military or public service people and offer these montages and or sport, you know, dance and gyms and things like that, and say, hey, let's put these montages together, or let's have a montage kind of promotion. So it works really well. You know, to keep bringing revenue in, especially in times where you might be a little bit slower than normal. So because you signed up for this webinar, you should have got the email with a link to download. I have like the 10 top ways to make money with montages. It's a little PDF infographic. And I go much more into detail, like all the different ways you can make money using these. If you haven't downloaded that, here is the link. This is dano.tips/montage PDF. Go ahead and make sure you download that because there's a lot of good information in there as well. All right, so I'm going to take a little poll here, give my voice a little break. So just type in the chat box here what type of photography you specialize in, or if you're just doing this kind of as a hobby for now, just go ahead and throw that in. If you're doing a hobby, doing it for hobby, or if you have if it's seniors more your niche, or weddings or pets or whatever, go ahead and throw that in. So cool, a lot of like sports and seniors, kids, tweens, weddings, sports, a lot of sports, cool. Sports and family, sports and wedding. Dance, nice. So cool, a lot of sports and seniors in here. That's awesome. So basically, they'll work for anything. I just want to see kind of poll what everyone's kind of doing here. But for instance, this is someone that put a montage together. They sent it over to me, and it was sorry, I lost track for a second. I was looking back as more things were coming in. But they put together this montage, and it's all the different images of this dog, Jack. So it was really cool. But I thought I'd share this because it's something I really didn't think of doing, is something like with pets with it. But my method works really well because it's going, you don't have to cut out, especially around all the hair that a pet has. And so I looked at my method as working great for just people. I never really thought of it for pets. And so they sent this and they said, I just can't tell you how much I enjoyed the montage class. I do primarily animals. I did this one for a customer, and while it differs a bit from your work, the customer loved it and bought it immediately and asked me to do another one for her other dog. So that's cool. I love when people take, something that my idea or something I teach them and take it to a whole different level. That's like super cool and rewarding for me. Weddings. So like I said, the very first montage I created was for a wedding. And this is one that I created for myself. This is my wife and myself. We have a 50-inch canvas of this up in our home. We got married in Tulum, Mexico. And so I took the images and put them all together into a montage. So, you normally see my sports stuff because that's what I do. But early on, I was photographing a lot of weddings and putting these together for weddings. And I have to tell you, I used to do wedding shows, and we brought in a huge canvas of a montage of a wedding, the very first one I did, and people went ballistic over it, and everyone's like, I want that, I want that. And even people who already were married wanted it. So that's another thing, you can do montages if they have the rights to the images and put it together and make money off of that, which is a cool revenue stream. So my technique, like I've mentioned a little bit here, it's simple and easy to create. There's no labor intensive cutting out. The way it's all put together with the textures and everything, it looks like a painting. It's easy to sell wall portraits because of the multiple images that are on there. People understand that you can't get like an 8x10 or a wallet because you're not going to see all the detail that goes into it. So wall portraits are a slam dunk with it, especially if you photograph seniors. And I know if you photograph seniors, you've gotten this comment that, well, my younger daughter or my younger son only got an 8x10 for the wall, so I have to get an 8x10 for the wall as well. So sometimes that can kill a wall portrait sale. Well, with montages, that's not the case, because I let them know, yeah, get an 8x10 of the traditional image, put that next to the other 8x10 of your younger son or daughter, but the montage, get, a 16x20 or 20x30 and put that, in the man cave or in their bedroom, because it tells their story. Like, this is Leah. This tells Leah's story of her as a softball player. And it's easy to sell it when you're talking like that. And, it creates a demand for you as an artist, not just a photographer. I know I mentioned that before, but it's super important to stand out and be not just a photographer, to be an artist, to show something that's different. Otherwise, you're just competing on price. So the average booster. So I'm going to just run some numbers here to kind of give you an idea of what I charge. Not even what I charge. I charge much more than this, but I want to kind of give you an idea of, why this can add at least $500 to your average. So a design fee, I would suggest, doing anywhere from $50 to $75 for the design. That's not including the session fee. So if you have a senior session, I would have this as an add-on. And like I said, have it between $50 and $75. You can do more. I currently charge like $189. But if you're just starting out, I would keep it a little bit lower, because you want everyone to throw this on as an add-on and to get as many samples out as you can when you're first starting out. I would definitely have a minimum order size of at least 16x24. So let's say your portrait, 16x24 portrait, is $229. Plus the $50 design fee. You can see you're up to $279. Now, I hardly ever sell just a regular portrait, because it looks like a painting and I have samples. of it on canvas in my studio, it's very easy for people to be like, oh yeah, I want the canvas. Again, showing what you want to sell. So it's very easy to upgrade them to a canvas gallery wrap. Like I said, at least a 16 by 24, which is $479 plus the $50 design fee. That gets you at $529. Mostly what I sell is a 20 by 30s, and so 20 by 30 is $629 plus 50. That's at $679. But you can go larger. I sell 24 by 36, sell 30 by 40s. It's very easy to sell larger once they see all the different images that are in here. It just makes sense to have it larger. So again, these aren't my prices. My prices are more expensive than this, but I'm here to kind of give you a baseline. Like, this is how, if you're just starting out or been in business a few years, this is kind of where your price should be at. So I just want to give you an idea of how easy it is to bump people up in getting canvas gallery wraps, and the importance of doing a design fee. So here, what you all been waiting for, my super secret Photoshop magic trick on how to put these together. So, a lot of times people put textures over the top of images. Well, years ago, I started experimenting with doing things a little bit goofy and playing around in Photoshop, and I came up with this method. I can't even tell you how I came up with it, to tell you the truth. It I kind of stumbled upon it. But instead of putting a texture on top, what I realized is if I started with a texture, which is what this brown kind of texture you see here, that's on the canvas. And then if you have a gray box and you put that over the top of the texture, and then if you click it into soft light blending mode, that gray box pretty much disappears. And so playing around with Photoshop, I discovered this. And then I started thinking to myself, well, what if I photograph someone against a gray background, which is what you see here with this fitness model here on the left. It's photographed her against the gray background. Then I switch the blending mode to soft light, and then I use a layer mask and just kind of erase the hard edge off around her. And then boom, within a few seconds, I have her basically cut out, and she still looks three-dimensional because of the lighting and because of shooting on that gray background and putting her over the top of the texture. So this is basically the first step. I'm giving away the super secret method here. The first step of like 5. There's a couple other steps that go into it to really help bring it all together. But this is the number one step to kind of quickly and easily go from a raw image basically to an image that looks cut out using my method. Then it comes into a lot of different blending techniques, and it's not hard to do, but there's a lot of different techniques to really make it come together. And when I see people first kind of start experimenting with it, I always see the same thing is they kind of are timid with the blending modes and how to blend it all together. So really learning the different blending modes help bring it all together, as well as composition of changing different sizes and different opacities, and laying it all out. And after you do a few, it really starts to come together. But the textures and the finishing are really key. And along with that is the type of texture you start with. What I noticed is really key as well. So I've gone through and developed like a handful of textures that work really well for montages, and they've taken me several years to kind of refine to really look the best. In the beginning, I was just using Inio texture, and I struggled a lot with them to look good. And now I have that kind of locked in really good, where I use basically the same texture over and over for every montage I do. So if you don't have a studio, no problem. Like I said, I first started doing these with wedding images, and I've still photographed a lot of seniors outdoor, and sometimes just outdoor looks great depending on their type of sport as well. So for instance, this catcher, for the softball player, photographed her completely on location and then blended it all together with the same process. It does take a little bit more finesse to get it to work out, but it definitely works, and sometimes it looks even cooler because of the other background things that are in there. It can really help, bring it together and look super cool. Here's another softball player shot on location. And this is just showing, basically I'm using the sun as the backlight to give the edge lighting. So if you only have one light, or if you don't want to carry like 3 lights with you outdoor, you can use the sun a lot of times to get that edge lighting. You can see it on the main image where she's holding the softball bat. You can see the light on her chin there. And that's just the sun kind of popping in there. And the way lights are nowadays, there's so many cool high-speed sync lights. Than when I started years ago, you could easily overpower the sun and get this look. This one was an afterthought. So I photographed a bunch of images of this girl with her bow and kind of bow hunting and on location. And she didn't order, or she didn't request the montage, but I wanted to do one for her because I just felt like I think her dad would really enjoy it. And I thought, you know what, Dad was kind of like worried about the price when he came in for the consultation. So I'm like, well, if I can create something really cool that Dad's going to love too, he won't scoff at price so much. So I put this together. They absolutely loved it. Dad loved it, and actually they bought it as well. So my evil little trick worked, I guess. So now, now that you've learned the power of montages and what they can bring to your studio, let me help you get these same results even faster. Everything I've learned in doing these in the past 12 years, packaged up for you into a training course. And I kind of call it the fast track to success. So you can take what I've shown you already and, put something together. And if you're if you're pretty good at Photoshop, you might be able to create something that looks really cool. I've seen that happen before. If you're just starting out, this program or this course, this montage course that I'm offering, really will get you up and going much, much faster. So I go through everything in the course, through marketing the montages, selling the montages, lighting them both indoor and outdoor, much more in depth than what I was able to go through today. I show you how to create them in Photoshop. The same techniques work with Adobe Elements. So if you have Adobe Elements, same exact techniques will work for that. And the big thing is the finishing. I can't stress that enough, is the finishing, the blending, the color grading, the burning and dodging. If you really want your montages to be like over the top awesome, that step there is super crucial. And I just don't have time to go through that today on a webinar because that takes a little bit longer, and something you have to kind of watch maybe a few times over and over. But it's super easy to do, and once you do a couple of them, you'll totally get it down fast. And that's the beauty of the course. You can watch it over and over again. You have lifetime access to it. You can watch it either online, or you can download and watch it offline. So you have either option to watch the course. And the main thing, again, is to do it over and over, or you're able to watch it over and over. Because I found like a lot of times when I would sell this as a disc, people would lose the disc, but you can always just log into your account now and have access to it. Super easy to follow step-by-step video lessons. It's normally $497, but if you purchase in the next few days, I'm taking $200 off, so it's only $297. So an awesome deal for you if you want to jump in on the montage course. To get started, you can just go to dano.tips/montage or click the offer pop-up. So I'm going to display that offer. If you go to the little megaphone offer thing, you can click on that, and that will take you over to the how to purchase it and everything. So what's included? We're going to go over this real quick. But it includes, I start off with the basics. So if you're brand new to Photoshop, or I've had people who had never used Photoshop before who had actually purchased this and learned a ton, not only about montages, but just Photoshop itself. And they're less intimidated to actually jump into Photoshop and start working on it. So I start off real basic and go through how to use different layer blending modes and different masks and exactly how I do it. Then I go more in depth. I show you how to create different montages and kind of go with all the different steps, step by step by step. I go in super detail so that you have the most success creating these when you purchase the course. And then included, I also have video lessons on how to market, how to sell, how to create buzz with the artistic montages. You already have the PDF, but I kind of go into more detail on how to do that as well. And a little bit different ways, different scenarios, and how you can sell them. I throw in the free bonus montage lighting video. So I showed you how I have the lights set up, but I have a video that goes along and show you how I interact with the clients, different lighting techniques. So you get the best techniques for lighting for the montage. Show you the different equipment I use, and also show some posing and variety in this video. But it's really nice. You can see kind of like over my shoulder as I go through and take you step by step through the lighting, which is also cool. It's the same exact lighting I use for all my composites. So you kind of get a 2-for-1 there. If you are looking at getting into composites or doing composites, the video alone is worth it. Another bonus item, I started putting these little stadium lights in to add even more depth and dimension into my montages. So I throw the montage stadium lights in for free, as well as 5 free textures to get you started right away. So like I mentioned earlier, there's certain textures that I've created throughout the years of doing these that actually just work awesome. So I'm just including those, and so you just have everything right at your disposal to start making these right away. The brand new bonus item that I just created and added to the course is the sport posing guide. So I noticed a lot of people were kind of struggling with posing the different sports and making it come together, like all the little jigsaw pieces and puzzles. So I put together, I pulled over 100 different sport poses, and I included that as a super special bonus for you guys. It includes football, baseball, basketball, hockey, track, tennis, softball, volleyball, soccer, and dance. So there's tons of different poses in there that you can use for inspiration, and I think that will really help you get up and rolling with these montages as well. So cool, we're just about ready for the question and answer section here, but yeah, here's everything. It's over 3.5 hours of step-by-step video instruction, selling marketing montages, lighting for montages. You get the 5 background textures, the free stadium lights, the free brand new posing guide, which by the way, whenever you purchase something from me, you always get free updates. So if you've purchased this montage in the past under the Seniors Unlocked brand, if you go in and log into your account, you will notice the new section, which is the posing guide. So check that out if you already have the product. And whenever I'm always looking to improve this product. So whenever I come up with new things, I throw it in there, you get it for free. So that's another benefit. Normal price $4.97, but today, for the next few days, you get it for $2.97. Or you can do, oh, there's another bonus I have. So if you do the full payment option, you get 27 extra textures, which is a $67 value. Or if you if money's kind of tight, you can do 3 payments of $109. And even if you do the payment plan, you get access to it right away. So yeah, save over $200 plus over $180 in bonus items. And that's the deal. So if you want to go ahead and purchase it, let me know if you purchased it, or I'm going to look here too. Let me know if you are having any problems with that, and I will answer any questions. If you have a question, make sure you put it in the questions area, not just the chat. So if you click the little chat button, you'll see where it goes to Q&A instead. That helps me keep track of things a little bit better. So Dinger says, yeah, everything I purchased from you has made me money. Awesome. That is my goal with everything. I want you to get your money's worth and actually make your money back with the first or second item you sell from any of my products. That's kind of my goal. Oh yeah. So yeah, that was me. Oh, wait, the question went away, but that was you. I had someone on here that didn't know Photoshop, and she's been pounding out these montages left and right. Yeah. So cool. I think it was Diana. So John purchased. Thanks, John. Robin says, can you buy the lighting for montage and instructional video? So you can buy just the lighting video. It's $67, I believe. And if you just go to the store.senioursunlocked.com, you will see where where you can purchase just that video. So yeah. So Andrew's question is, would it be fairly easy to apply the same techniques in Paint Shop Pro? I can't answer that, Andrew. I have not used Paint Shop Pro in probably, I don't know if I've ever used it. There's some kind of Paint Shop program I used probably 20 years ago. I'm not sure if it was even Paint Shop Pro. So I really can't answer that question for you. I could do more research on it, but you know, Photoshop now is so inexpensive and it's so powerful. And same thing with Elements. You know, I've just been sticking on that platform. So yeah. So Sunny says, can you give the link for the PDF again? Yeah, so the link for the PDF, let me plug this in real quick. I just have to look it up here. I'll copy and paste it in. Oh, here. So that's copy. Let me go back here. So there. So there's the link for the PDF. And then the link for the actual, to learn more about purchasing the product. I'll pop that in there too in case you don't see the offer. Well, I think that's right. I'm going to take a drink here and answer more questions. I want to take a moment here. Yeah, thank everyone for purchasing. We got John, Tanya, Richard, Ben, Beth, Joe, another Melissa. So thanks for purchasing. I hope you enjoy the montage course. And if you're on the Seniors Unlocked Facebook group page, you should got an invite for that too. But if you post it on there, it's good to see what you create. And if you purchase the montage, I also will help you, kind of give you a critique and stuff on there. So if you know, I kind of been doing that as well for people who ever purchase the montage. Yay, Melissa purchased and excited. So Sunny got the link. Good. Oh yeah, Nicole's got a good question. She said, does the background need to be gray? How would a white background compare? So a white background would work is if you're not throwing much light on it. And so if you light a white background with not a lot of spill on the background, it will turn gray kind of instantly or normally, just basically not shooting high key with it. So if you shoot high key, that white background is going to be completely white. But if you pull your lights away and don't throw a lot of light spill on the background, it will turn gray. And then you can use a white background and use the same method. So hopefully that answers your question. Thanks, Beth. Looks like you just bought it. Awesome. So Pat had the same question about the white background. And actually what I use now, instead of the paper, I use a vinyl background, which, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the same color. It's just the vinyl works cool because it's more durable. So Jen says, have you found when you give montage sessions for auction items, are you giving them the montage as well? And if so, are you not getting other sales from that session then? No. So the auction, what I recommend is doing the session for free and maybe a discount on a product, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't do a free session and a free product, because part of the auction is you want people to also invest a little bit in you. So if you're just doing a montage, they're just going to walk away with the montage. So it's good to sell some type of product as well on your end. So will this webinar be available to watch again? I am recording it. Hopefully the recording is turning out. So if the recording works, I will have a replay and you'll get a link for the replay. Will only be up for, I think, 48 hours for a replay. So yeah, try and watch the replay. So great. I'm just looking to see if there's any other questions here. So Beth is like, yeah, this is great. Thanks, Beth. I have a baseball player coming on Saturday. Awesome. Just looking, because not all the questions are, a lot of the questions are in the chat, so sometimes those get lost. So Gail is asking about the extra texture. So yeah, if you bought it a year ago, it should be included. But if you did the payment plan, the extra textures, the 27 extra ones aren't included in the payment plan. The extra 27 bonus textures are if you do the $297, the one-time payment. So Dave says, how long will the special be going for? The next couple days. So I'll send an email reminder out to you guys, let you know when I'm going to close down the deal. It's a super awesome deal. I don't run it that often, so you might want to jump in on it, because it's a good savings. It's an excellent savings. I just talked to someone who bought this a couple years ago, and he's a retired police officer, and now he said he's doing 3 of these a day. So he goes to sporting events, photographs the sporting events live, puts these montages together, and he's selling 3 a day. He said he's created over 500 montages in the last 3 years since he purchased it. He's like, this is the best video photography education he's ever invested in, which was super cool for him to share that with me, and made me super proud. I told him he's done more montages than I have, probably in 12, 15 years that I've been doing them. So cool. I'm just gonna finish up here. We're just about an hour, which is good. If anyone else has any questions, now is the time to ask them. Just looking through them here. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to spend it with me here. Hopefully you picked up some good tips and tricks, and yeah, you're excited to start offering these montages. And so many people have had great success with it, and I'm happy to share this information with you. Hopefully you guys have good success with it as well. Well, Dawn says, do you incorporate other products like flares in your montages? That's a great question. Yeah, so I sell other things like fog and smoke and flares, and I have included flares into a few montages I've done. It's mainly for a guy, MMA fighter. I've done that, and I include the fog. I do some fog with some of the montages as well, just to help give it some more dimension. So yes. Good question. Brenda says, do you get all the bonuses doing the 3 payments? You do get all the bonuses. The only bonus you do not get is the 27 extra textures. But I do include 5 free textures with the regular if you do the payment plan or not. So that's enough to get you started. And the bonus textures are if you pay in full. But you definitely get the lighting. You get, the selling, the marketing, the lighting, instructional video, the 5 textures, the free stadium lights, and the free posing guide if you do the payment plan or if you do the full price. So hopefully that's clear. Wow, 3 a day. Yeah, I know. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy when he told me that. So if you've purchased this program or this course from me, you saw me speaking live a couple years ago, and before I had it on the website and it was easy for me to update, I will still, either sometimes there's like a small upgrade fee to get it. But that's if you purchase it like 3 years ago or something. So just send me an email if you've gotten it. If you don't have it on the Seniors Unlocked site. That's the beauty of the new site I have, is I can always easily update. When I just sold a CD, when I was speaking live, it was hard to do updates and tweak things, but now it's much easier. Yeah, Stephanie's like, yeah, I bought a year ago and thought I lost it when my computer crashed. So glad to know I can go on the site and get it again. Thanks for that. Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only when your computer crashes, but say you update your computer or you lose the disk or whatever, you can always just go back on and download it again. So Christine says, how would you use older photos shot? How would you use older photos since they are shot with a gray background shot? Not quite sure I understand that. But you can use photos you've already shot, even if they're not in a gray background, just blending them together with this technique. So I show that in the course on how to do that. It's a little bit more technical, but in the course I go into detail. If you already have photos, or if you only shoot outdoor photos and you don't have access to a studio, that there's a whole several videos that go over all of that. And in fact, I could probably, I don't know if I can share that screen or not. Yeah. So this is, this is the course. This is a little goofy on mine, so bear with me here. But, it has, the montage marketing, basic intro to the layers and masks, creating outdoor finishing, lighting for montages, advanced montage techniques, marketing and creating with a gray background, finishing touches, the stadium lighting, the posing PDF, the bonus textures. Those are the 5 free ones. I also include a bonus webinar here that kind of goes basically the same webinar I'm doing here, as well as a montage critique. So I had several people who submitted me their montages, and I did a webinar where I went through and critiqued each one. And so that's really informative, because it showed all different styles, and it also helped explain putting the pieces together, and a lot about design, where I see a lot of people struggle with the design aspect. So that montage critique is super informative. So with that, I'm going to go back here. Pretty much going to close it up here. Yeah, there will be a replay, so take a look out for that. And yeah, we'll pretty much close it up here and call it a night. So hopefully you enjoyed this presentation and you picked up some good tips and ideas. The montage course, is on sale. You can save the $200 for the next few days and get all the bonus items as well. Or if money's a little tight, go with the Montage payment. Either way, you get full access as soon as you pay. So you can dive in and start learning all about montages and how you can offer them. And, you know, my goal is, like, you know, you sell one of these, it's gonna pay for the course with the first one you sell. So with that, I'm gonna call it the end of the presentation. Thank you again so much, and take care.